Alright, hello everyone, it's Happy, and today I'm going to be talking about why the Super Conqueror or the not so Super Conqueror is one of the worst tier 10 heavy tanks, at least in terms of premiums and collectibles. Well, in comparison to tech tree tanks, of course, there could be tanks that are worse, but we're comparing the Super Conqueror to other premium and collectible tanks, so keep that in mind. Obviously, first I'm going to be talking about the advantages of this tank, because a lot of people seem to think this tank is OP, and then I'm going to be talking about the negatives, and there are many of them, a lot. But obviously, in my own experience, the tank hasn't been great, but it hasn't been too bad. Obviously, if it comes to the store, you guys can try your luck, but everything else in terms of heavy tanks is going to be better. I myself did 3,500 average in the tank for 110 games, and I had a 76% win rate. So that's not great, it's not too bad, it's somewhere in between, at least for me. So obviously the advantages, it's the really strong turret and the gun depression. Both of these give it a hull down combination, and this allows you to only have one playstyle, and that's hull down. Get to a position like here and play off of your turret and your gun depression. Obviously, if you want to play hull down, you also need a good gun though. And that's where the Super Conqueror lacks. British tanks usually have really good guns. Take a look at the Chieftain at tier 10, the MK6, the FV215B. Both have brilliant guns, great DPM. The gun handling is superb. And now, if we take a look at the Super Conqueror, it lacks. Obviously, the DPM is quite good, especially after the E5 and the 215B got nerfed. But in terms of gun handling, this has to be one of the worst British and overall heavy tanks of this caliber. Just because of how bad the gun handling is, it ruins the whole experience. Take a look at this shot. When I'm about to shoot the Death Star, take a look. I'm literally aiming in and it just, I don't know. This happens so often. A lot of your shots won't go in. And it's out of the blue. The Super Conqueror's gun is super clunky and it's unreliable. I think the IS-4 has a better gun than this. Overall, the caliber, i.e. 400 Alpha, and the weapon handling do not go hand in hand. This has to be one of the worst guns of the same caliber. I know I'm repeating myself, but stay in there. Obviously, the hull armor isn't great. Of course, the upper plate will hold, the sides are garbage, and the back of the tank is humongous. It's just gonna eat in HE shells, and the lower plate is humongous as well, and whoever misses it is a bit of a noob. Or, of course, if they're shooting from far away, it can happen, I understand, but overall, most people are going to be penning you. And this is why I think the Chieftain is a lot better than this. The gun handling on the Chieftain is superb. It has a very similar playstyle. The turret isn't as strong as the Super Conqueror, but the gun is so much better, and it has very similar gun depression to the Super Conqueror. And it's faster. The Super Conqueror isn't fast, but it's not slow. It's not the slowest tank, but it's not the fastest tank. And it has 36 kilometers per hour, which is decent. It's mediocre, but it's not gonna allow you to fly into position early on and get that hull down position, because it's just slow. And if you compare the VK90, or if you compare the collectible AMX, or if you compare the Chieftain, all of them are going to be way better than the Super Conqueror. The Super Conqueror's main letdown is the gun, and it just kills this tank completely. You're going to miss a lot of shots, and doing 5Ks, 6Ks is going to be really hard just because of the gun. Now, of course, everything else about the tank is mediocre. Nothing really stands out apart from the turret's armor and the gun depression. Of course, the tank is very beautiful, and it's just a joy to run around in this tank just because of the physical aspect of the tank, but everything else is horrendous. And I sometimes question if this is really a British tank, because all British tanks are really accurate, and they have some very good gun handling in comparison to this. This one seems really odd, and there aren't many advantages to the tank. So if you see a lot of heavy tanks coming into the shop, I suggest try and skip the Super Conqueror and going for another tank. For example, the VK90, it's so much better, or the Chieftain. The Chieftain is the closest thing to a Super Conqueror, but it's way better in almost every single aspect. So with that, Happy is out. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.